Yes, it can be fair comment that some members of the JCF may not attitudinally do what they are supposed to do professionally. However, I don't like to broad brush, and I prefer to see each case on its own particular merits.
The police makes this sham now called community policing, which is actually community relations, because the attempt is to make the police look a little bit better. It's a PR work.
The police, I think, are responding to a large threat.
The 2012 Caribbean Human Development Report states, our region is home to 8.5% of the world's population, yet it concentrates some 27% of the world's homicides. Another study conducted by the Latin American Public Opinion Project, titled The Political Culture of Democracy in Jamaica and the Americas, says that most Jamaicans believe the police is performing in a mediocre way. This therefore begs the question, is the Jamaican police performing as it should? Performance is judged by clear-up rate. Clear-up speaks to someone being arrested and charged for a crime. The figures show for 2012 a 39% clear-up rate for violent crimes, compared to 42.8% the previous year. Sexual offenses was a little better at 53.8%, compared to 43.5% in the previous year. Police performance impacts the work of the Department of Public Prosecutions. Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn believes the police are facing a serious dilemma.
We go back to what is the essential dilemma that faces a police investigator and very often to the prosecutor, that members of the public have to understand that unless we have the evidence coming from their mouth, then you are going to hamper prosecutions. I think a lot of members of the public believe that if they tell the police, to use a Jamaican parlance, one away, what they saw, then the police should be able to go to court and tell the court what the master said. It doesn't work that way.
Lecturer at the University of the West Indies, Nicholas Satchell, agrees that having members of the public speak is a challenge.
Our system depends a lot on eyewitness. So you've been hearing a lot of debates in the parliament surrounding video evidence, for example, so that people don't have to have that face-to-face.
But even with the possibility of DNA evidence, the DPP says the need for witnesses is key.
So the DNA report cannot grow legs and walk into court by itself.
There is also the question of capacity and the ability of the police to properly prepare what is called a case file, that is, to properly gather all documents and information relevant to a particular case. Acting Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Sharon Millwood Moore, speaks to the challenge of statement taking.
There are times when the statements don't quite come up to par in the way one would want from the outset. The statement usually is the guide that is used in court, and it's the measure that is used for the witness in terms of credibility. There are many police officers, however, I think, who are learning far more, and there are times when I am so pleased when I look at some of the statements. They are so complete. You would think that from the start they realize that we might not actually have the witness in court, and I have seen some cases where in the end it really comes to pass.
We certainly make ourselves available to consult with the police in the back in respect of a lot of high public matters. People wouldn't understand that sometimes when you have some of these high profile matters especially, and other matters too, the police will consult with us even before they charge, and we will do the research and assist them to make the best decision in respect of what charge to.
There is still the demand for better case management.
Greater case management. We've had strides with that, especially in terms of crime scene. So you will see those police crime scene vehicles. So they respond and try to respond effectively to the crime scene, and they try to have their sweeps so that they can pull evidence together. So at least that is one. And trying to have tighter management structures where things don't just fall through the cracks, as we heard happen, in previous cases where you can't find this, evidence has disappeared. Tighter case management.
Another critique to police performance is the perception of citizens towards the police. Police killings impact this in a big way.
Certainly, extrajudicial killings, I think, is still a major issue. There is high amounts of trauma when these things occur, not only when there is a police killing, but when there is a killing. And sometimes we don't tend to look at the victim and the victim's family.
Community policing is an attempt to taper this. Anthropologist and lecturer at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Herbert Gale, is not convinced, however, that this is as effective as it should be.
Within the JCF itself, there are two poles. There are a bunch of guys who are doing the little teeny bit. In fact, I would describe it as infinitesimal bit of community policing, right? And then there are the various very well-known special squads that come to wipe out what the other kinder ones have done.
The strain impacts on the willingness of witnesses to come forward. Fear also plays a major role.
Safety concerns are there. We all have safety concerns. The police have safety concerns. The prosecutor has safety concerns. The judges have safety concerns. But it is a commitment to nation building.
Another important factor impacting police performance is the power the legislation gives them.
The legislation, you have to look at what it is that they have to work with. So if you're looking like post-2010, we have those anti-crime bills that people are not too comfortable about, giving additional powers to the police to perform their duties. They're saying we can't investigate because once we give the person bail, then there are a number of killings associated. So we say, okay, we're going to give you a longer time to carry out your investigation. But with the criminal justice system, you're always balancing individual rights with public safety. So of course, there's public outcry. Why do I need to stay at the police station for 3 days while they investigate? They should be more effective.
The public is demanding action and wants to see a faster clear-up rate on the part of the police. The DPP, however, maintains there can be no success unless the public plays its part.
It is very important that we connect the dots and that people understand that when you observe crime being committed, unless you are prepared to walk the talk, then nothing will happen.
The research shows that the public's perception about the performance of the police is improving. However, with crime figures remaining too high, the police are being challenged to step up their game, improve clear-up rates, take the incentive out of crime.